What if I told you that most of the beliefs that you are carrying around right now aren't even your beliefs? And it's crazy because these very same beliefs are keeping you stuck in a life that you don't even want anymore. You picked up these beliefs from people like your parents, your caregivers, your teachers, your bosses, society, and systems that trained you to believe very specific things about success, work, and your worth. So when I finally walked away from nursing, it wasn't just about changing careers. I had to unlearn a lot of beliefs that I didn't even realize were running my decisions. So today I'm going to share the 3 most common and destructive beliefs that I had to unlearn that kept me stuck in nursing way longer than I wanted to be, and that kept me tied to my nurse identity, even though I knew I wanted out. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a simple way to start auditing the beliefs keeping you stuck too. And by the way, my name is Mel. I'm a former registered nurse who left nursing back in 2021, and I do not regret it. So one of the most harmful beliefs that I had to unlearn in order to leave nursing was this, is believing that I had to work hard, I had to be exhausted, I had to be overwhelmed in order to get to the version of success that I was taught that I should want, that we're all taught that we should want. So many of us were brought up to have this version of success that comes with exhaustion, burnout, overwhelm, and stress in order to get to the next level. So I thought that working myself to the point of exhaustion was a badge of honor. I thought it gave me cool points. Nursing trains you to believe that being tired all the time means that you've done something right. It's some type of badge of honor. That's why this belief is so harmful. It makes you believe that this means that you're dedicated. It makes you believe that this means that you're a team player. You go above and beyond for your patients, for your job, that you have this strong, excellent work ethic. Burnout, just because it's common, does not make it normal. Burnout is not a badge of honor. Burnout does not mean you're doing something right. It doesn't mean that you're successful. If you're so burned out and you can't even enjoy the people that you love, you can't even enjoy the things that you're working so hard for, where is the success in that? So the reality is that burnout is a sign that you're actually misaligned and that you need to slow down, figure out what's going on, listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your nervous system so that you can adjust and make the changes you need to make in order to be able to pour into yourself. So burnout is a strong indicator that the way that you're living, the way that you're working is out of alignment. Another belief that I had to unlearn in order to walk away from nursing with no regret and to create a life that I love is this one. Resting is lazy. Let me know down in the comments if you ever took a day off from work, if you ever sat still, if you ever just laid around or didn't do anything and you felt guilty. Raise your hand, because this is so common in nurses, it's common in women, it's common in society, because we are trained to work. We're trained to think that work is always the answer. We're trained to work ourselves to the point of exhaustion, physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion, and to not have anything left for ourselves. By the time you have to sit down because of sickness or whatever ailments you develop because you're working so hard, you feel guilty. I know I'm not the only one. I used to feel guilty for resting. I used to feel guilty for slowing down and for taking breaks. I felt like if I was resting, that wasn't productive. I felt like if I was resting, that was lazy. I felt like if I was resting, that was wasting time and I could be doing something else. But the reality is that resting is productive. And I'm going to say this till I turn, well, I won't turn blue in the face, but I'm going to preach this. I'm going to take this to the grave. Resting is productive. Resting is productive. Resting is productive. You are not artificial intelligence. You are not a robot. You are not a machine. You are a human and you are supposed to rest. Rest is where clarity and creativity and new insights come from. When you allow yourself to just be still. Most likely right now you out here with 100,000 things on your to-do list, always running around, always having something to do, always having something to check off, and you're never present. You're not giving yourself the permission to rest because you think that it means that you're not doing enough. You think that it means that you're lazy, when in reality it just means that you're avoiding yourself. You're avoiding sitting with yourself. You're avoiding, you're afraid of what you might find when you actually rest. You're afraid of who you are underneath all the stress, all the burnout, overwhelming anxiety. because you haven't had the time to sit with yourself and get to know yourself and allow yourself to build up a healthy relationship with rest. So this is a huge one, okay? And it took me a while, even after leaving nursing, to get comfortable in my rest, to feel safe resting. Because right now, nursing trains you to just be running around and to have 1,000 things to do and to be responsible for all these different roles at the same time. And when you're exhausted and you're always running around and you're always numbed out to feeling, you literally can't think clearly enough to create a better life for yourself. And that's when you start to feel trapped. So, of course, resting is going to feel foreign because your nervous system is so used to you doing the most. It's so used to you being hyped up and having to do all these different things. So, when you rest, that's when you can actually learn how to regulate yourself emotionally, mentally, physically. The next belief that I had to unlearn that is so detrimental, that might be keeping you stuck too, that keeps so many other nurses stuck, is that burnout is the price that you pay for making good money. Whew! Please, somebody. Please. This is so not true. This is the biggest scam of the century, of the lifetime. There were several moments after I left nursing where I realized that this was a complete scam. But one of the prominent moments where I was like in the moment experiencing the scamness of the whole situation, of thinking like that belief that you have to work hard in order to, or you have to work hard or be burned out or exhausted in order to make good money, was when I literally made more money from one sale online, one digital product sale, than I made in an entire 12-hour exhausted nursing shift. Okay. And it's so crazy because we are literally, quite literally, trained to exchange our time for money, right? And when you feel like, when you feel like you have to exchange your time for money, you stay stuck in survival mode. You stay stuck in the roles that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you in survival mode. So the only way to detach yourself from that is to change that belief. So now my belief sounds like it's easy for me to make money. The more I rest, the more I breathe, the more money I receive. Because the people who are working the hardest are not making as much as the people who are working the least. The people at the top who are making a lot of money aren't working as hard as you. Just think about the structure of the hospital. The doctors and the nurses. The doctors make way more money, but how long do they sit with the patients for? That right there, you got to start thinking about these things, because otherwise you'll just stay stuck in this loop, in this trap, thinking that you got to sacrifice your health, thinking that you have to sacrifice yourself in any way for a paycheck. Pay attention. You ain't got to do it. Don't do it. We're trained as nurses to think that if you want stability, if you want good income, good pay, that burnout just comes with the territory. Burnout just comes with that. It's like the more money that you make in nursing, the more you should expect to be burned out. You know, a perfect example of this, a lot of times when you switch to a least stressful nursing position, you take a pay cut, you make less money. So the system is literally set up to train us to think the more stress, the more overwhelm, anxiety, and tension that we go through, the more that we are compensated for that. But the ironic thing is that the more stress and all and anxiety and all that stuff and overwhelm that you're going through, because you're making all this money, you're not even able to enjoy your money with the people that you care about. You're not able to be present with the people that you care about. You're not able to use all of the funds that you've like earned to feel good in life. So a lot of times in those least stressful nursing positions, they make you take a pay cut. So that right there is reinforcing the belief that burnout is the price that you got to pay for making good money, for making higher income. The truth is that burnout will constantly exist when your definition of success requires you to work yourself to the point of physical exhaustion. Period. Burnout only exists when your definition of success requires you to constantly sacrifice your own well being. So once you start redefining what success means for you, not what society told you success was, not what your parents told you success was, not what anybody outside of you have told you or taught you what success was. But once you start redefining it based on how you want to feel, how you want to live, how you want to show up, only then can you start redesigning a life that actually is in alignment with that version of success, a life that actually supports you, that actually supports your mental, physical, and emotional health instead of creating a life that constantly drains you. Let me know down in the comments which belief you resonate with the most. If you are watching this video and something resonated with you, or you felt something in your heart, you felt something that was like, ooh, like she talking to me, I want to give you something fun that you could try. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to help you audit your own beliefs to determine what you need to get rid of, what's yours, what's not yours. So let's get into it. This is the fun part. Hopefully you're feeling amped up. Hopefully you're feeling ready to receive this blessing. So I want you to reflect on 3 questions. The first question is this: what belief about work do I currently live by? An example of this is I have to work hard and be tired in order to make a certain amount of money or in order to be successful. Call it out. Be honest with yourself. You got to pull it to the surface, because that's the only way you can be aware of it, so that you can get rid of it and replace it with something better, something that actually serves you. Next question: where did you learn that belief? I want you to think back as early as you can. Was it from a family member? Was it from your parents? Was it from a show? Even if it wasn't taught to you like directly or outright, like somebody didn't tell you you have to work hard to be successful, a lot of times it comes from the people that we see, which is our parents. Like I saw my parents working hard and working long shifts, and I was a latchkey kid for a while, because my parents were working hard trying to keep us alive and trying to, keep the bills paid and keep a roof over our heads. So a lot of times, even if we're not told the thing directly, like we see it, especially as kids. And when we're kids, our minds are highly suggestible. So the things that we see, the things that we take in, are the things that we start to believe, and we start to form our own identity around. The third and the final question is this: is this belief actually creating the life I want? Not the life I have, not the life that is expected of me, not the life that everybody else is living or everybody else is dealing with or wants. Is it creating the life that I actually want? Does it support the life that I actually want? If the answer is no, that's exactly where the change starts. So a lot of times we stay stuck, not because we lack courage or we're incapable of figuring things out, but because we're still operating under the beliefs that we have never questioned. Ooh, this is huge, okay? I just gave you so much game, so much value in this video. If you really do this audit, do this exercise, and get honest, get real with yourself, you will discover the foundation of why you're always exhausted, why you feel like you can't leave nursing if you really want to, why you feel like you have to work hard in order to be successful. Please listen, do the work, okay? So if you realize that a lot of what has been keeping you stuck in nursing is coming from the inside and is internal, the beliefs, the fear, the second guessing, the what if spirals, I created something for you that's going to actually help you with that. And it's called the Should I Stay or Should I Go Masterclass. This is for the nurse who's tired of giving all her mental and emotional energy to this decision, to this thought of should I stay in nursing or should I go? The link is below.